Hi, good day. This is your teacher, Maria Angelica Baratucan, and welcome to Accounting Information System. So, this is Module 1, Lesson 1, Introduction to Accounting Information Systems. So, specific learning outcomes, you need to distinguish data from information, discuss the characteristics of useful information, explain how business processes affect the design of the AIS, and explain the decisions an organization makes, the information needed to make them, and the major business processes present in most companies. Okay, here are the topics. We have the basic concepts in AIS, information needs and business processes, accounting information systems and its components, and AIS as adding value to organizations. So let us first determine the important concepts in accounting information system. We have system, data, and information. So if you can recall in your science class, we have the different systems. We have the digestive system, nervous system. So it's composed of several interrelated parts. So a system is a set of two or more interrelated components that interact to achieve a goal. Most systems are composed of smaller subsystems that support the larger system. Okay, so just like your nervous system, wherein there are different organs and different functions that are combined, that's why there is a nervous system. Next, we have data. Data are facts that are collected, recorded, stored, and processed by an information system. So businesses need to collect several kinds of data, such as activities that take place, the resources affected by the activities, and the people who participate in the activity. So data basically is the raw facts. They are not yet processed. And when the data is now processed, then that is what we called as information. So information is data that had been organized and processed to provide meaning and improve the decision-making process. So as a rule, users make better decisions as the quantity and quality of information increase. So are we clear with that? So data is what we feed into a certain system or program that can produce the information. Data is raw and the information is the finished product. What are the characteristics of useful information? In accounting, we have the different characteristics of accounting information, right? Also, in accounting information system, we also have characteristics of useful information. The qualitative characteristics, and can you still remember that? The fundamental qualitative characteristics. We have the enhancing qualitative characteristics in accounting. So here are some of the characteristics that are also found in the qualitative characteristics. We have relevant. These reduces uncertainty, improves decision making or confirms or corrects prior expectations. Information should also be reliable, kasaligan. It's free from error or bias. It should also be complete. It does not omit any parts or important aspects of the events or activities. It should also be understandable, presented in useful and intelligible format, verifiable. Two independent, knowledgeable people produce the same information, and it should be accessible, available to users when they need it, and in format that they can use. So what are the information needs and business processes? Okay, a business process is a set of related, coordinated, and structured activities and tasks that are performed by a person, a computer, or a machine, and that help accomplish a specific organizational goal. So there are different set of activities that are coordinated, that are geared towards a certain goal. So what are examples of this one? I hope you can read that. First is you have the acquire capital. This is an example of a business process. And what are the key decisions that you should make? You determine how much is the capital. You have to find investors or borrow funds, or if borrowing, obtain best terms. Okay. Example of information needs. What do you need to obtain? The cash flow projections, pro forma financial statements, loan amortization schedule. Another example of a business process is acquire building and equipment. How would you decide? So what are the key items that you have to make decisions? So you have to decide the size of the building, of course, the amount of equipment, the rent, if you will rent or buy, where's the location, and how do you depreciate. And how do you get information? What information do you need to make these decisions? You get the capacity needs. For example, in building the senior high school building, so they have to estimate how many students are going to use the building. If you already learned that there are around 500 students, would you make only one room? Okay, would you only make 2 rooms? So it depends on the information on the capacity. Amount of equipment, the building and equipment prices, of course. Like you want to buy TV and provide, it follows that you already have your money, but what type of TV? Because the price of the TV depends on the specifications of that TV. Okay, so if you want a smart TV, it's a lot expensive. If you want an ordinary TV, it's just it's around 7 to 10,000. Okay, so you have to decide basing on the prices available. Okay, so you can read the other items there and the examples of key decisions and information needs. So several business processes can be reorganized into a related transaction. And what is a transaction? That is an agreement between two entities to exchange goods or services or any other event that can be measured in economic terms by an organization. Examples include selling goods to customers, buying inventory from suppliers, and paying employees. The process begins with capturing transaction data and ends with informational output such as financial statement is called as the transaction processing. So what are the major business processes or transaction cycles? So we have here, it is a cycle because this is interrelated with each other and it keeps on going back to step number 1. It's a cycle because it's continuous. So we have 5, and basically these are the transaction cycles that you're also going to audit. So the several transactions are combined into a cycle, and that will be part of the audit structures. How do you target your audit? It depends on the cycle that you are focusing on. We have the revenue, expenditure, production or conversion, human resource or payroll, and financing. Revenue, of course, revenue is income, gains. Expenditure are the expenses or losses. Production or conversion, that is related to the inventories. And then you have human resource or payroll, that is with your employees' salaries. And financing, you have sources of funds. So revenue cycle It is where goods and services are sold for cash or a future promise to receive cash. This is with the selling of goods and services in exchange for cash or a future promise to receive cash. Expenditure cycle, it is purchases of inventory for resale or raw materials to use in producing products in exchange for cash or future promise to pay cash. Okay, then you have production or conversion cycle. This is where the raw materials are being transformed into the finished goods. Okay, transformation of the goods into inventories. This is associated with using labor, raw materials, and equipment to produce finished goods. For human resources, this is related to the hiring, training, compensation, evaluation, promotion, and termination. Activities, of course, includes those activities. Then financing, this is where the companies will sell their shares or borrow money. So this is the source of funding, wherein investors are paid dividends and interest is paid on loans. So activities is raising money by selling shares or borrowing money. Okay, next we have the accounting information system. So we already learned that a system is a set of interrelated subsystems or interrelated parts. So what is an accounting information system? So this is a system that collects, records, stores, and processes data to produce information for decision makers. We already know what is information, right? It is already the converted data. So the AIS includes people, procedures, and instructions, data, software, information, technology, infrastructure, and internal controls and security measures. So this is what we're going to study in this course. So the components are, we have the persons or the people who are going to use the AIS. We also need, of course, the data that will be inputted in the AIS or processed in the AIS. There should be a software to process that. Then the infrastructure, information system infrastructure, and the procedures, of course, on how to process the data. And the internal controls should also be in place. So again, the 6 components are the people who use the system, procedures and instruction, the data, the software, the infrastructure, and internal controls. So what is the role of AIS in an organization? So a well-designed AIS can add value to an organization by improving the quality and reducing the costs of products or services. Okay, just imagine a big company who has so many customers. Like for example, an airline ticketing company. So there are so many customers that will buy tickets for their trips via airplanes, and if they do not create an information system or do not install an information system wherein it will collect the necessary necessary data from its customers, such as their booking details, the payment details. If there's no AIS to process that, there's no AIS that will able to handle those data, it will be hard for them to manage their business. So it's important that they can install a certain information system in order to cater to the needs and to process the necessary data and conduct their business. Most of the AIS for big companies are automated. That's why it makes the work easier if they have this automated or computerized AIS. So if there is an effective or well-designed AIS, it can reduce the costs of the product or services. When they order or they book a ticket online, the cost for the airline companies is only for the managing of the online platform wherein the customers will book their flights. The airline company will no longer need people, personnel, and place them in a kiosk or in a certain store or certain office to receive the bookings, because they can only spend for the computerized software or the website that will accept all the bookings. So, ma-minimize, dili na kinahanglan pang manghire og so many people, di ba? Para lang mo book sa mga flights. Kaya automatic naman siya. It improves efficiency. Just imagine if manual ang pag-accept og booking sa flight. And then, naay nag-book dito sa Batanes, naay nag-book dito sa Nueva Ecija, naay nag-book dito sa Leyte, naay nag-book dito sa Bohol, naay nag-book sa Tuguegarao, naay nag-book sa Sulu, and then manual ang processing sa booking. Naay centralized ng office nga siya dapat mag-consolidate lan sa mga bookings. Manual, naay tao dito gi-assign dito sa Mindanao, naay tao nga gi-assign dito sa Luzon. Unya dugay kayo ma-process, di ba? Kay forward pa ang information. Unya ilaha pa na siyang encode, di ba? Napabay approval or verification, ingon ana. Kung naana sila information system and if this is computerized, automatic na sudtanan ang information to a centralized database. So, mas efficient ang company. So, unsa man ang efficient, mas daghan ka og outputs, di ba? Compared sa imong inputs. You can share the knowledge. The information, booking information from Mindanao can be viewed by the central office in Manila. So, dali ra kaayo makapasa og information. That's the same with the student information system in Mater Dei College. Although the central central database niya is nasa registrar, but the offices can the department heads in the offices can view some of the information of the students, such as the study load. So dili lang siya confined only for the registrar's office. The department head can view the study load of the student. Of course, there are restrictions that should be placed to identify who will be the persons who are authorized to view the information. But the bottom line is the information can be shared immediately kay naara man siya sa usa ka database. So ana siya ka dali. Improving the efficiency and effectiveness of its supply chain. So, mas dali ang pag-process sa next step. Labi na og na maligya ka pag-accept sa order para sa di ba? Sa kanang Shopee, Lazada, di ba? Anyone can order something from Shopee and Lazada. And what do you think is being used by Shopee and Lazada to accept all the orders? And there's so many sellers in their app, diba? They have this information system. Unya, i-organize ni Shopee, organize ni Lazada ang tanan nga mga data nga gi-input sa mga different buyers, and then dito pod sa ilahang app mo interact pod si seller, diba? So mas mapadali ang supply chain once the customer will place the order, makita na dito dayon nga naanay order, and then mo-accept og payment, makita na po dito mo prompt na si Shopee nga nanay ni bayad, so kinahanglan na nimo i-ship ang products, di ba? Wala na tao nga kinahanglan pang mo inform ni seller nga uy naara ba kay order, kinahanglan na nimo ni siyang i-ship. Dili na, automatic na siya because there is a certain system. It can improve the internal control structure. So what are internal controls? These are policies and procedures that are implemented by management. Then it could improve the decision making kay paspas ang information and mas dali maka-obtain og decision kung ang ato apong information is dali na nato makuha. Okay, so that's the last part of the lesson. Okay, I hope you already answered these questions for our lesson 1 review. So how do an organization's business process and lines of business affect the design of its AIS, and give examples of how differences among organizations are reflected in their AIS. That's for our lesson 1 review questions. And then I will be sending you your homework for this week from August 24 until August 24 to 30. Okay, so for any questions again, feel free to ask your teacher. See you in our next class.